Recalling the past videos, Anne has shared her experience and now she'll develop an action plan with the caseworker. Anne has noted medical needs and after discussing what a referral to the health clinic entails, decided she wants a referral to the clinic managed by IMC. Her appointment is set for September 30th, 2020 at 10 a.m. She prefers to go on her own because she is afraid that it will attract too much attention if the caseworker goes with her. Anne also works with the caseworker to develop a safety plan. They agree that when the violence starts, Anne will come up with a signal with her neighbor Esther, who will come to her house because when someone else is around, it tends to prevent the violence. She will also prepare a bag with her papers and the little money she has left from her parents in case she has to run and leave the house if the violence becomes too severe. In case she leaves, the survivor will go stay with her distant cousin who lives in a camp nearby while looking for another, more sustainable solution. Anne also expresses interest in going to the Women's Center and gives her consent to attend an emotional support group with other women who have experienced gender-based violence. She thinks she can come once a week without her husband finding out. She also commits to going to church again on Sunday as it brings her joy and helps her to connect with other women and find support. She thinks she can come back to see her caseworker in 2 weeks for another appointment. They agree that if she can't come, the caseworker can call Anne on her mobile phone in the morning when her husband is at work. Now that an action plan and safety plan have been developed with Anne and the caseworker, let's make sure to get this information into the GBVIMS Plus.
In the case file for Anne, we now need to fill out the action plan. To do this, let's go to the Action Plan Case Management form. First, we need to remember to click Edit to add any new information. Then, you can scroll down to the middle where it says Add Actions and click on Add. Now that we've opened this window, let's fill out the information together. Under Describe the Action Plan to address this need, we can fill out some details, including our referral to the health clinic. We can add the type of need, the type of intervention, if we referred the client for this service, and if we got written consent to release their information for the purpose of referrals. Then we can add information about the place we're referring them to. Including the date, the time, the provider, any notes, which could include additional challenges, resources, or other relevant consideration. Here we might add something about the severe abdominal pain. Since mandatory reporting laws do not apply, we can leave the next 2 points blank. And because we're filling this out prior to the action being completed, we can also leave the last 2 data points blank. Then let's click Add. We want to fill out additional action plan forms to indicate Anne's personal goals, which include going to church more often and attending emotional support group meetings at the Women's Center. To do this, let's add another action plan. Here we can add her personal goal. Under the action plan to address this need, let's add her personal goal of attending church on Sundays again. For the type of need, I can see personal goal at the bottom, and for the type of intervention. For this, we do not need to fill in any of the remaining data points for the referral information since this is a personal goal. We can just go ahead and select Add. Finally, let's complete another action plan form for the psychosocial services Anne is going to be receiving. Let's start by clicking Add. After we add the action plan to address this need, we can go to the type of need, type of intervention, personal goal. And about the referrals, we can say service provided by your agency. You could enter the information about your own organization, but if it's being provided by you, this information doesn't have to be in the system. Now that we've completed the form, let's mark Add. We have our action plans here in the system. We can go ahead and hit Save. Now that we've completed this form, let's look at the safety plan for Anne. Go ahead and click on the Safety Plan Case Management form. And then again, let's click Edit since we need to add new information. The first question here is about if the safety plan is needed for this case. For this, we'll mark Yes. The next question is about if this plan was developed with the survivor. This is really important for our case management services. This safety plan was developed with Anne, so again, we can mark Yes next to this question. Remembering the safety plan we developed with Anne, we'll go through and complete the form, filling in all relevant and necessary information. The safety plan, if you recall, was completed during Anne's first visit, so the completion date is the same as the date of interview, September 21st, 2020. Next, we'll add in her safety concern. Anne is afraid that her husband will beat and sexually abuse her again. Next, let's go to the resources section. This is split up into economic, relationship, community, and other. Let's go through these one by one. First, let's add her economic or material resources. For relationships, we can note that Anne has family far away in another camp, so she is without family here in Bitty Bitty. She does have a friend named Esther, though. For community help, Anne has the church she used to attend. She also has the Women's Center. In this case, we'll leave other blank. Next, let's move on to safety preparedness. Under safety preparedness, the question asks, what steps did the survivor identify as options to minimize risk of further harm for herself and her children if applicable, before violence occurs? We can say that Anne will come up with a signal with her neighbor Esther, who will come to her house when someone else is around, because when someone else is around, it tends to prevent the violence. Next, let's go to safety strategies. For safety strategies, we can say that Anne will prepare a bag with her papers and the little money she has left from her parents in case she has to run and leave the house if violence becomes too severe. Next, let's look at steps after leaving. For this, we can write that the survivor will go and stay with her distant cousin who lives in a camp nearby while looking for another, more sustainable solution. Finally, the safety plan took about 40 minutes to complete, so let's select that range. Now that we're done, let's click the Save button at the top of the screen, and our action plan and safety plans have been added to the GBVIMS Plus.
Thank you for joining us as we completed the case action plan and safety plan with Anne. We will see you next time when we follow up with her.